I pursued advanced studies in philosophy because I could not help thinking. Thinking is an activity, I think, that can be obsessive, and most philosophers, I think, are obsessive thinkers, and so that was certainly true for me. Eventually, I came across questions of faith and theology as well. That not only led me into philosophy, but also into my faith. And so I became a Catholic and eventually even a religious and a priest. So you never know where thinking leads you. The quest for truth, might lead you to places where you did not think you would go. The topic of my dissertation was on that philosopher Leibniz and the question of free will, but not only in Leibniz, but also in his predecessors among the Spanish Jesuits. But the overarching question was where Leibniz got his notion of the best of all possible worlds from. Leibniz is famous for having said that God creates the best of all possible worlds. Part of that phrase, though, possibility, is something that was already discussed in the Middle Ages. So I basically have three parts in my dissertation. One is about the notion of possibility, especially in Duns Scotus and Thomas Aquinas. The second part is about the notion of possible worlds with the Spanish Jesuits, and here especially the Molinists. And the third part is about the best of all possible worlds, the optimistic part, and that also is something we find in the Spanish Jesuits in the 17th century. Miracles are there to authenticate faith. They authenticate a claim that something is revealed by God. And so the prophets in the Old Testament, for example, will work miracles to show that their knowledge comes from God. But these miracles must be visible to the secular eye or to the eye of the philosopher. So philosophy needs to be able to say something about this topic. And so I have done much work on that. And it is a very complex topic with very interesting aspects to it, from metaphysics, the question of what is divine action, but also what is a law of nature, what is causality, epistemological questions, questions of historiography, but even questions of mathematical probability. All of these have been used in that context. So rather fascinating and complex topic. The second big area that I'm involved in is philosophical aesthetics. There is much work to be done in this field, especially when it comes to more concrete questions of, say, architecture or music or sculpture. What are these pieces of art or music, and how can we think about them? Philosophy seeks truth for its own sake. It is a contemplative activity. This is a kind of knowledge that is not technological. It is not a knowledge of means, but of ends. And it can show that there are rational ways of reflecting on what we should be doing, including what we should be doing with the technology that we have developed. I certainly enjoy our students who have these interests, and I enjoy seeing them developing their thoughts, connecting the dots between the various areas of knowledge, becoming creative with ideas, and writing wonderful master theses at the end.